The need for greater focus on the teaching of sex education was raised by child protection agencies during Wednesday's national conversation held by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. She chaired discussions with over a dozen non-governmental and community-based organizations on the recent upsurge in violence against children.
But today we identified that we must give further consideration to health and family life education in our schools. I mentioned before that there was a policy document when I was Minister of Education we were working upon. Several of the persons here remembered, and I was very surprised to learn that 14 years later has not become reality.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said they also recognize the need for greater funding for the work of the agencies tasked with protection of children and women.
The way of funding the NGOs and the CBOs and using resources that are limited, how best to prioritize disbursements of funding and the criteria being used and the level of red tape that the CBOs and NGOs use to access funding from government. But definitely government cannot do it alone. We need every single citizen on board.
This afternoon, CNews took to the streets to ask members of the public their views on whether enough is being done to protect the nation's children.
I will say no, because starting from home and also school, teachers, parents, they don't.
I find the parents have to take care of the children and the teachers or whatever, you know, they have to take care of the children. You can't leave everything on the government, right? I find the parents is to blame for that.
The people that do it not being punished to the full extent.
No, no. Oh, well, too much of crime, too much of this, too much of nonsense going on.
They want to put legislation in place, and even if they do have legislation in place, there is no enforcement and so forth, right? You have people like social workers and stuff overworked doing their bit, but then nothing is really going on, right? So it's left at us and all the grassroots. We have to start from the beginning, from the parents, go right up here in the neighborhood as everybody to try and protect your children.
Not good at all. Why it is nothing is being done to children being molested? Nothing is being done. Parents, mothers, fathers need to pay more attention to the children.
The Minister of Gender, Youth and Child Development, Clifton Dakoto, says there needs to be greater education of parents. He says the National Family Services is on an education drive targeting parents and their responsibilities in raising children.
Because we need to make parents aware of their responsibilities, make guardians aware of their responsibilities. So there is this need for this national awareness campaign, because in most cases we believe in some degree of lack of knowledge that causes some of these things. So parents must be aware. And we also say that the community must become sensitive to what is going on. So we have to have the members of the community, the different NGO groups, to become conscious, and there might be the need to give some kind of funding to assist them.
Minister Dakoto says his ministry is also looking at the establishment of daycare centers to assist parents in the after-school care of children. He reiterates that parenting isn't only a job for parents.
And it brings to the point where we say that it takes a village to raise a child. It is not, it's literal in the sense that we have to be our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper, right? We have to be looking at the situation. We cannot say, because it is not affecting me, I don't care. It is not now a blame game to point and say, this one didn't do it and that. We have to work collectively.